Good evening, everyone. Welcome back to the channel Linguistics Net platform. And this is the second part of the most expected question series for the Linguistics Net paper. So let's start. The question 1 is about a term sometimes used in linguistics to refer to the study of the origins and development of language. So here we are talking about origin and development of a language. So this origin is not limited to the child, but it is also related to the human race. The complete human race. So when we talk about the origin and development of language both in child and human language race, so we are talking about the glossogenetics. So option B is the correct answer. The question number 2 is a term used by some linguists to refer to the phenomena of speaking in tongues. So when we are referring to the phenomena of speaking in tongues, that is we are referring to the spoken form of a language. This is what is known as glossolalia. One more important thing here is that it is practiced by members of various religious groups. So this is glossolalia. We have one equivalent terms in writing as well, and that is glossographia. So both these terms are important. One is used in spoken speech, that is glossolalia, and one is used in written speech, and that is known as glossographia. Moving on to the third question, a term used in glossematics. So this we have studied in the part 1 of the video as well, and it is a term which is used in glossematics to refer to the abstract minimal invariant forms set up by the theory as the basis of explanation in all areas of linguistic analysis is known as. So we are talking about the minimal invariant form. So if you would remember our previous discussion on the glossematics, you will be able to easily answer, and the option A is the correct one. You are right, that is glosseme is the correct answer, which is the minimal invariant form in glossematics. Moving on, we have the question number 4, and question number 4 is basically asking about the acronym GLOW. So GLOW stands for, so this GLOW stands for Generative Linguist of the Old World. Yes, GLOW stands for Generative Linguist of the Old World. So option B is the correct answer here. Moving on to the question number 5. It is based on articulatory phonetics, and here they are talking about one instrument. So this instrument which is used in the articulatory phonetics for registering the vibratory movements of the vocal folds. So when we register the movements of the vocal folds, that is how many times it vibrates, and this instrument is also called a glottograph. So this instrument is what is known as electroglottograph. So this instrument is also known as electroglottograph. So option A is the correct answer. This instrument is also known as glottograph, and it is used in articulatory phonetics. What is the function of this instrument? The function of this instrument is to register the vibratory movements of the vocal folds. Okay, moving on to the sixth question. The question 6 is based on historical linguistics, and here also they are asking about a term which is used in the classification of types of semantic change. So here we are talking about semantic change, means the change in the meaning takes place in the historical linguistics. Now this term refers to the loss of an earlier sense of disapproval in a linguistic item. So earlier this term used to be meant for disapproval, but now it is used in a more positive sense or more approved sense. Hence the term is what is known as amelioration, in which something which used to be used in a negative sense or more strong sense, negative connotation, but now it has come in a positive light, and now it is used as a positive connotation, means it has a slightly got a positive connotation. For example, we have the word mischievous. Earlier it used to mean, it has a very strong meaning which meant which is disastrous, but now it is used in a very mild manner and it means playfully annoying. So mischievous has changed from disastrous, that is a disapproved meaning, to a more light meaning which is playfully annoying. So this process is known as amelioration. You should also know that option A, which is pejoration, is just the opposite of amelioration, in which something which had the approved meaning, positive meaning, but now it had acquired some negative connotation. This is known as pejoration, which is just the opposite of amelioration. Coming to question number 7. Question number 7 says it's a traditional rhetorical term sometimes encountered in linguistic studies of conversational speech. It refers to a syntactic break in the expected grammatical sequence. So there is a expected grammatical sequence in a sentence, but there is a syntactic break that comes within a sentence, as when a sentence begins with one construction and remains unfinished is known as. So this whole process, this whole traditional rhetorical term is what is known as anacoluthon. Okay, so option A is the correct answer. One example of this process is what is the sentence that the man came and, so there is a syntactic break here. Are you listening? Question mark. So the man came, there was a one construction which was going on, and the expected construction was a declarative sentence, but this sentence became, after the syntactic break, an interrogative sentence. Are you listening? So the man came dash, are you listening? Question mark. So this is the one example of anacoluthon. Question number 8 is an assertion based question. We have two assertions given and we have to tell whether they are true or false. So assertion 1 is about apodosis. So apodosis is a term which refers to the consequence or result expressed in the main clause of a conditional sentence, also called the consequent. So apodosis is what is known as consequent, and assertion 2 says that protasis expresses the condition. So apodosis is what is known as consequent and protasis is what is known as condition. So both assertions are correct here. I have an example. We shall get in if we queue. So if we queue is a condition, hence if we queue is a protasis, and we shall get in will become apodosis. So this is we shall get in is the consequent and if we queue is the condition. Hence both are apodosis and protasis respectively. Moving on, we have question number 9 and it is a very interesting question. You should know what type of a language this is. So ninth is, in linguistics, a term used to characterize languages which permit communication between a person and others with whom there is a social taboo. For example, a son-in-law talking to the mother of son-in-law talking to the mother of his wife. So this type of a communication in which communicating to that person is a social taboo, this language is what is known as mother-in-law languages or taboo languages. So these are two names, mother-in-law and taboo languages. There is one more name for these languages and that is known as avoidance language. Okay, so option B is the correct answer. Question 10 says, a sentence containing two noun phrases, each of which contains a pronoun which is anaphoric to the noun phrase is called, to the other noun phrase is called as. So whether it is known as Peters sentence, Back-Peters paradox, Back-Peters sentence, or both B and C. So this is what is known as Back-Peters paradox as well as Back-Peters sentence. And it is named after Back and Peters. So both B and C is the correct answers. Since paradox and sentence, it is known as both Back-Peters paradox and Back-Peters sentence, in which there are two NPs and each of which contains a pronoun which is anaphoric to the other NP. One example of this is the pilot who shot at it. This is one NP. Hit the plane that was chasing him. So hit is the verb here, and the plane that was chasing him is another NP. So the pilot who shot at it hit the plane that was chasing him. Hence there are two NPs, and each of these NPs are carrying a pronoun which is anaphoric to the other noun phrase. Hence this sentence is known as Back-Peters sentence as well as a Back-Peters paradox. Hence we come to the end of the video. I hope these videos will be of great help for you, and will be uploading more such videos and of more such parts of this series. Stay tuned. Thank you.